After years of traveling with our gnomes, my wife and I decided that it was time for our creatures to have a great adventure. My wife suggested that we take them to Turkey on our next vacation. I was afraid that this would be too adventurous for our gnomes, but they cried out that they knew that they could keep up with us and not be a burden. Here we are, arriving at our hotel at Urgup in the Cappadocia region. As always, our gnomes insisted on greeting the hotel staff to help check in. They inspected our rooms and the courtyard of the hotel before deciding that this hotel would meet their standards. Then they sat down with the hotel lady to plan our itinerary in Cappadocia. There was so much to see and do in this region of Turkey. But what activity should we do first? Our gnomes cried out that they wanted to go to Gorham and take a balloon ride. I was stunned that our creatures were so fearless. So here we are in our balloon ride, rising high over Cappadocia. As you can see, our gnomes were having the time of their lives in this airship. Never did I hear them cry out to go back to Earth. Don't be afraid to take your gnomes out for a balloon ride. It will build trust and cohesiveness in your family unit. I was also happy that the people in the balloon appeared to accept our creatures and never made fun of them. They can be very sensitive at times. After an hour in the air, we landed safely. Our gnomes were proud to have their photo taken with the balloon pilot and honored to be presented with a certificate of participation. Before we continue, let's talk briefly about traveling in Turkey with gnomes. My wife and I made the decision to travel with a rental car to give us extra flexibility. If you do this, please remember to keep safely secure your gnomes in the back seat. It's the safe thing to do. Sometimes gnomes can be full of mischief and sneak back up to the front, so you always have to keep an eye on them. Heading back to our hotel, the gnomes were speechless with excitement when they saw a man giving camel rides at the side of the road. I said to my wife that the gnomes have been so good that we should give them a special treat and let them ride a camel. So here they are, riding atop this noble beast. Their joy and confidence made me burst with pride to see them making friends with this creature and the little girl leading them. To think that we could have missed out on all this magic by leaving our gnomes back home and alone. The next day, my wife and I decided that we needed to broaden our gnomes' view of the world. There was more to life than just having fun. We needed to expose them to history, art, and culture. So we took them to see the ancient ruins of Ephesus. Here they are, standing triumphantly at the Celsus Library at Ephesus. A few days later, we took them to see the Roman theater at Espandos. It was 45 degrees Celsius, but our gnomes didn't even break a sweat. They marveled at these ancient relics, and I wondered if their gnome ancestors had ever walked these roads. At this time, the gnomes wondered about their gnome brothers that stayed at home. I suggested that they buy some postcards and share their Turkey adventures with their gnome brothers back home. Here they are, buying their postcards from the gift shop at Espandos and paying for them. Their independence never ceases to amaze me. After their postcards were ready, we went to the post office and mailed them. The Turkish post office employees smiled at our gnomes, as if it is a common occurrence to serve them. With just a few days left of our vacation, they wanted to have a special meal of celebration and farewell, and eat something different from the typical food they had tasted countless times. They said they wanted the stew meal cooked in clay pots. They had heard about it in many videos, so we found a restaurant that served this local specialty. They were speechless as they watched the cook bring the fiery dish to our table. Never had I seen their eyes so big and full of wonder. It was a meal that they would never forget. Now they were ready to return to our home. Just a word of warning to those who may travel to Turkey with their gnomes. One day we took our gnomes on a night boat cruise on the Bosporus in Istanbul. It was an evening of food and dancing. Near the end of the dancing, 2 Turkish dancers begged us to let them take their picture holding one of our gnomes. Later, our gnome said that these maidens had become smitten with him and tried to convince him to join their dancing act. Happily, our gnome knew better to stay away from these Turkish maidens. I hope you can enjoy watching this video and that you may be more open to meeting gnomes in the future. Thanks for watching.